Hendon Hooker goes off the board to the Detroit Lions in the third round of the NFL draft. So, obviously, our coverage of Hendon Hooker has included some mock drafts, seeing him go in the first round of mock drafts, in the second. So, we had him ranked accordingly. Now we're going to have to adjust a little bit, but this is not something that we should be ignoring. Hendon Hooker in the third round, we obviously saw in college what Hendon Hooker is capable of at Tennessee. Coming off an ACL tear, he's just now starting to get back into doing some drops in the pocket. And so now he's starting to move around a little bit. And with Hendon Hooker, I don't think it's insignificant that he goes to the Detroit Lions here. Ian Rappaport, reporting on NFL Network, said that they could be trading up for potentially a backup this year, but maybe their quarterback of the future. And you have to think, right, that is potentially what they're thinking when they're drafting Hendon Hooker here
Yeah.
in the third round.
Yep, this is all going to be based off his work ethic. Clearly, they liked the meetings they had with him. Had some questions about his injury and his age and his production at Tennessee, but it was enough for them to. I think they traded straight up for that pick. Like they got it completely. They didn't even just trade up. Like they took that pick specifically. I don't know what they gave up, but this is definitely relevant. We are and we're very conservative with quarterbacks past the second round. We pretty
Yes.
much say they're irrelevant. They're nothing. They're not going to have long lasting value. This situation's looking a little bit, it could be unique. Now we're still gonna be conservative with this. I don't think you can really justify taking Hendon Hooker in a dynasty rookie draft in Superflex any higher than the mid second. I still don't think so. I mean, this is still a third round pick. We're talking just last year the Tennessee Titans invested an early third round pick in Malik Willis, and of course he amounted to nothing, and he was terrible, and he was bad, and he was horrible, and they just got Will Levis early second this year. And Malik Willis will amount to nothing in the NFL. Now with Hendon Hooker, look, Jared Goff is mid. He's a good quarterback, but I don't think they're going to want to pay him another long-term deal after his deal is up this year
I
because
don't
he
think
has
so
one
either.
year left on this deal. So this is kind of a subtle nudge in the direction of the future for the Detroit Lions. If they want to move on from Jared Goff and they don't do as well as they anticipate this year with him, and they don't want to pay him in an evolving, growing quarterback market, they can just stick with that rookie deal, pay their other skill positions, and go with Hendon Hooker for the future. And honestly, that's definitely a possibility.
Hendon Hooker is going to get a shot to be the long-term solution at quarterback for the Lions, whether that's
Yeah.
this year, whether
Yep.
that's next year, whether it's when Jared Goff goes out with an injury or something like that. He is going to get that shot. He's stepping into a situation where he's playing with one of the top 5 offensive lines in the NFL with that Detroit Lions offensive line, and playing with weapons like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Sam Laporta, and now Jahmyr Gibbs as well. A great weapon group, one of the best offensive weapon groups and all-around offenses in the NFL. Any quarterback really is destined to do well there. Jared Goff has thrived there, and Hendon Hooker, in my opinion, can do the same. So now, when we're evaluating Hendon Hooker for dynasty and fantasy purposes, like Nathan said, mid-second is probably the earliest we are going to be taking him. There goes Jalen Hyatt to the Giants. That's notable.
Very. Yep. That'll be
Um,
another video.
yes. Oh gosh, we're so far behind now. Um, again, I think mid-second is the earliest I'm taking Hendon Hooker.
If he falls late second, even early third, are you like going out of your way to get him?
Depends. Early third, yes. I'll go trade for an early third pick.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to.
Okay.
I'm interested to see how this whole draft board shakes up. I mean, Jalen Hyatt obviously just jumped over everybody a little bit there, so
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
things are going to start getting shaken up a little bit more. With Hendon Hooker, what do we expect from him this year? Probably nothing. He's probably going to be the backup to Jared Goff this year. We don't expect him from a points perspective to do anything because he's probably not going to be the starter there.
Zero.
Yeah. So not the, and where are we going to rank him? Not high right now. I mean, there's
Yeah.
just no reason to. He's
Yeah.
stepping in as going to be a backup. If he does see that field, if he does see that situation improve, then maybe we're going to have to start talking about where we're putting Hendon Hooker. Remember, the big knock on Hendon Hooker was that he's 25. I don't think that's why he fell in the draft. However, that is something that you have to take into consideration. If for dynasty fantasy purposes, when you have quarterbacks playing until they're 33, 34 years old, not really a huge deal for us these days. However, this is just going to be more of a situation to monitor as we get into Hendon Hooker's NFL career and how that works as he steps in as a backup quarterback for Jared Goff with the Detroit Lions, and if he can take that spot or not. It should be pretty interesting. So, all right,
Yeah.
make sure like this video and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Obviously, we've got so many players getting drafted right now, and we've got to keep grinding out these videos, but we really appreciate your support. We're going to keep grinding out these videos. We're going to do it all off season. So make sure you're subscribed as well. As always, we appreciate you watching. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you here in a minute.